Hey, Urban Gardener here, and I'm in the kitchen, and today I'm whipping up chickpea burgers, crunchy chickpea burgers. And here are all my ingredients. I'm gonna cook them in some grapeseed oil. Here's my seasonings. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. I'm using garlic. I'm using black pepper. I'm using some complete, some ground cumin, and I'm using the hot smoked paprika for a little kick. So here I have cut up some onions and some celery. And I'm going to be making my batter. I'm going to be battering it with some King Arthur unbleached all-purpose flour. And I got some almond milk. I'm going to use a wet and a dry batter. I'm also, of course, the star of the show, chickpeas. And I'm also using 2 medium potatoes, which the medium potatoes, 2 of them are cut up already. And they are on the stove cooking. Got to get them nice and soft. So, I just want to show you all my ingredients first, and I'll be back for my next step. All right, in this pan, I am going to, this pan right here, I am going to soften up my onions and my celery. I'm going to soften them up. Have that going right there. I'm going to leave that going. Now, over here, I have my chickpeas and I have my white potatoes, which I boil. You put the pork in them. Once they're pork tender, they are ready. You don't want them too soft, just pork tender. So, I'm going to have to mash these. So, you can use a potato masher, which I really don't have, but I do have a dough blender. And I'm going to use my dough blender. And you don't want to mash the peas too much. You don't want to mash them all the way to nothing. You can leave some whole, but I find it easier to mash with this than with a fork. For me, it's easier. So that's why I use this. So I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to mash after this, I'm going to mash my potatoes. And I'm not going to mash them too fine either. So, I'll be back. All right here I have my chickpeas mashed. I have my potatoes mashed. Also, this is my batter. One is going to be wet, one is going to be dry. Right now they're both dry. I put in each of these a teaspoon of salt, garlic powder, pepper, complete, and a little bit of smoked paprika in both of these. I season both of these. So one arm, which is going to be my wet one, I'm going to put some milk and make it a wet batter. And over there, I see my onions and stuff is doing good. Going to make a wet batter. So we're going to have a wet batter. So I'm going to come back to that. So over here, I have my onions and stuff going. My onions and my celery. They got kind of cooked good, but I do like it like that. Now, these are my seasonings, all my seasonings. I'm going to put my seasonings. Let them cook for a minute to unlock the flavors of the seasonings. You cook them for a minute, it helps unlock the seasoning, the flavor of your seasoning. We want to do that not too long. Not too long. I can smell them. That's what I want. I want to be able to smell them nice seasoning. They smell good. They smell good. Let me get my glove for safety's sake. Never touch a hot pot. All right. That's good. Gonna cut that off. Gonna take it over here. And I'm gonna put it with my potatoes. Gonna add it to the potatoes. While I set up for my other thing, I'll be back. All right, I have my pan oil on to fry this. So I put a nice amount of grapeseed oil in it, as you can see. A nice amount of grapeseed oil in it. So I have the fire on, I have that getting hot for us. And over here, I'm gonna mix the two batters together. We're gonna mix them together. And now here, where things are gonna get a little messy, you can use your hands. This is when you use your hands, but I'm gonna mix these together with this spoon right here. But the spoon just don't get it right. I use my hands to mix it, get it together nice and good. Okay, we're gonna take it over here because I'm gonna make patties. I'm gonna make some patties out of it. I'm gonna use my hand. I'm gonna make patties. Then we're gonna use our wet and our dry to make some nice, see my burger? Make them like that. Gonna use your hands, yep, you're gonna get a little dirty. Gonna get your hands a little dirty. This ain't the dirty part, though. We'll be getting to that momentarily. So I want to just get my burgers together while that oil is getting hot. So I have all my burgers ready to go. Of course, you gotta be careful with these. This is our wet. Sometimes you gotta keep stirring that. Okay, so we're gonna take the burger. We're gonna put it in the dry first. We're gonna get it mixed. We're gonna put the dry on it first. We're gonna do dry first. Then be careful with them, because they break easily. Then you're gonna put it in the wet. This way you get a little messy. So I kept my spoon over here. Get a little messy. You're gonna get messy, so just be ready. Okay. Hopefully, and you gotta carefully get that out. Carefully get it out. It's still. Gotta make sure I have it on here. We're gonna do dry again. We're gonna do dry again. We're gonna do dry twice. We're trying to make these nice and crunchy, nice and crispy. And hopefully, my oil seems like it might be ready. Here we go. First one, I have them nice and crispy, as you can see. I just flipped them over. Now, once they finish, I'll be back to taste them and see how they taste. All right, this is the finished product. After you finish, make sure you put them on a paper towel so they can drain. So they're sitting here, and here's the one I have over here that I'm gonna taste. Now, nice and crunchy. You can pick them up, you can pick them up. You can make a burger from them on a roll if you want. Cut it. Now, here it comes. Crunchy. Nice and flavorful. Oh my God. I love these. Every time I make them, I love them. Oh, I would pair these with my collard greens, like I said. Look up my collard green recipe. Pair this with some collard greens for a nice dinner. Maybe some quinoa. Hey, hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Urban Gardener in the kitchen, signing off.